welcome back to Consider This. I'm Melisa Idris with Sharaad Kuttan. Now, Peter Kallang, who is a member of Sarawak's indigenous Kenyah community, has been honoured with the 2019 Seacology Prize for leading a successful campaign to halt the building of a series of mega dams in Sarawak. Now, the Seacology Prize is awarded annually to a person who has shown exceptional achievement in preserving island environments. So it's a pleasure to have him join us on the line tonight. Peter, congratulations on the award. Now, I'd like to begin this by having you describe for us this campaign and its outcome.
Yeah, we started the campaign back in 2011. And then it was quite a long campaign involving so many things. We started off by signature campaign and went on to police reports. We went on to blockades, and we did some campaign overseas as well, starting from Australia. We went to Norway, we went to Switzerland, and we went to the Asian Development Bank in the Philippines. So a lot of things going on, and so we had 2 blockades put up back in 2013. That one was to stop the construction of the access road to the dam site, and the other one was to stop the geological studies that was going on the site prior to the construction of the dam. So, and then the last straw for the government was when we engaged an expert on energy to come from the U.S., from the University of California in Berkeley. We did the study on the installed power of Sarawak Energy, that is the company that provides power for the whole Sarawak, and then the projected organic growth and also the industrialization that they were talking about. And we found that the amount of power that they are trying to generate was far much more than the percentage increase of power that China was producing at the peak of its industrialization. So at that time, the Chief Minister was Adnan Satem, so we asked him for a meeting, and then he accepted our request. So we had a meeting with him. We showed our studies. We showed all the signatures that of people who are against the dam. So that was when he put a moratorium on the Baram Dam. And after that, after 3 months after that, he decided to revoke the gazette that has extinguished the rights of the landowners.
Peter, can I ask you this? It seems to me that the work that you did, with consultations with the community, the research, in fact, into the viability and the actual output of the dams and those hydroelectric projects should have been done by government itself, government that, in fact, had decided to go along with these dams. Why do you think that people in power are not doing those studies and coming to the same conclusions that you came to after, much hard work?
Yeah, that is the thing that I do find very funny, because this type of major project, which involved a lot of people, there were about 20,000 people who would have been affected by the dam if it was to be built. And they were not properly consulted. What the government did was they got all these community leaders from the villages and all that. So they consulted the community leaders, but the people on the grassroots level, they were not aware of it. So, in fact, how we came to know about it was because the Sarawak government went to China trying to bring in the investors. They go and sell. They said that we are going to sell very cheap energy, and then you come and do whatever industries that require a lot of energy-intensive industries. And so they gave the Chinese clients the PowerPoint presentation and all that. In fact, all the PowerPoint presentation was marked private and confidential there. So for some reason, the Chinese were not aware of it, perhaps, or I don't know what happened, but they upload this PowerPoint presentation online. So that's how we came to know about it. So what we did when we found that out, we went to the ground and asked the people, are you aware that there is such a plan by the government. So a lot of people were taken aback by that. So that's how it is.
So that wasn't widely known. Now, I want to ask you, Peter, because, you know, politicians, government officials, they often legitimize big infrastructure projects like this, saying that it will bring revenue and development. So have you ever been accused as being anti-development?
That is something that we've always been accused of. They said we are anti-development. We are not worried about the economy of the people and all this type of accusation. They said that NGOs don't know anything and then don't listen to the NGOs because they only worry about the forest and the river. They don't care about you. So that is something that we, that's why at the peak of our campaign, sometimes we send in 2 or 3 press release a week in order to protect our, trying to justify what we are doing.
Peter, you know, we've obviously had a major breakthrough in terms of politics in Malaysia. We had a shift of power at the federal level. In Sarawak, it's still, you know, with the parties that were first or formally aligned with Barisan Nasional. But do you think this new politics and this talk about a Malaysia Baru, of a reform agenda, do you think that's going to have any effect on the kind of work that you and other activists are trying to protect the communities and their environments going into the future? Do you think Malaysia Baru has something to offer you?
The point here is because the land and then of course of the resources, they call it resources, forests and all things like that, that is under the state government. This federal government doesn't have any jurisdiction over those things. So it is quite hard to, even though a lot of the federal ministers sympathize with us, and then we have consulted them as well a number of times, but they are quite limited in capacity to help us in this area. But because the Sarawak government is still, now it's even worse because they are in the opposition now. You can see that they are spending a lot of money, promising a lot of projects. Suddenly, projects are coming up like anything, like never ever before. For the last 50 over years that we have been independent, and Sarawak has been independent. Never ever before have they spent so much money, about 10 billions or something a year.
So on that note, Peter, now, you know, the Sarawak state elections are expected to be held soon. Do you expect environmental issues to be a key campaign issue in the upcoming election?
In certain places, I wouldn't say that it is for the whole of Sarawak. In certain places where we have done a lot of campaign on the environment, because what you see now, especially now, we have this dry season and then a lot of haze. In some villages, like my own village, for example, you find islands in the river, in the middle of the river, suddenly all these islands appear, all because of siltations, because of all the siltation, because the downwash from the logging roads and all that. So it's a very major thing. A lot of it is so obvious there. People are complaining a lot. So those areas which are, I'm sure that there will be a lot of challenge for them. That's why they're also doing a lot of projects in those areas. But otherwise, like in the urban areas and all that, there is a lot of, the amount of campaign, there are really intensive campaigning even now. You can see them if you drive in the country roads, all these flags of the new political party, the GPS, all over the place. And then they're visiting a lot of villages and all that. So,
okay, so it's ramping up, I guess. The campaigning is likely to ramp up in the next couple of months or so. All right, we're going to come back and continue our conversation on Consider This. Stay tuned.